all the way to Morten, who is reaching us, I think, from Denmark. So Morten, the floor is actually yours now. So let's see if we get sound and presentation working for Morten. Thank you. And again, warm welcome to everybody out there.
Thank you, Thomas. Do you see the presentation? Because I only see the half of it.
We see it.
Okay, I just only see the half of it, but I should know it. So then let's just kick off. And thank you for this introduction, Thomas, and thank you to the organizers for letting me kick off this interesting event. I'm Morten Randers, and I'm associate professor at the University of Southern Denmark, and also a guest professor at the University in Tromsø, the Arctic University of Norway. And please do not hesitate to contact me through the email or social media if you have any questions to my presentation or to some of the work that I'll present. Please change the slide.
This is turned off, right? Yeah. Okay.
It's not turned off, Thomas. We hear you whispering.
It's not turned off. Thanks, Morten.
So, your association between physical activity and health is well established. In 2015 paper, Pedersen and his team reviewed the evidence for prescribing exercise as a therapy for 26 different chronic diseases and concluded that physical activity is a cornerstone in the prevention of treatment and lifestyle diseases. Moreover, the former editor-in-chief of British Journal of Sports Medicine, Karim Khan, wrote with his colleagues in Lancet in 2012 that sports seem to contribute to the health of nations, and that sport organizations should be encouraged to make sport for all a reality. Please change. Next slide, yes. In our research group, Sport and Health at the University of Southern Denmark, we have investigated the potential of recreational football for improving health in almost 20 years, starting with the pilot studies conducted back in 2003 by my research group leader, Professor Peter Krustrup. I joined in 2007 and conducted a PhD entitled Physiological Demands, Fitness Effects and Cardiovascular Health Benefits of Recreational Football, which included randomized controlled trial studies on untrained adults and patient group. And since then, we have also moved to children and international large-scale studies and conducting various studies on various populations across the lifespan. We have published more than 100, please go back. Yes, we have published more than 165 scientific publications in peer-reviewed journals on football and health, and especially 4 journal supplements stand as landmark of our research. We have also published 3 books written to reach a wider audience and to spread the scientific knowledge produced. And we have also transformed this into evidence-based concepts with Fit First and 11 for Health, focusing on children. All these concepts have been disseminated in close collaboration with the Danish Football Association and the Danish sports organizations. And to support coaches and PE teachers, several courses and supportive material have been produced. But obviously, I can only introduce you to a few of these many interesting results today. Please, James. So, but why football? This figure shows in blue the speed profile measured by GPS of a football player, a recreational football player. And this clearly shows that football is an intermittent activity with several brief near maximal actions. We also see the red line, which is the heart rate. And this heart rate is around 85% of the individual maximal heart rate on average, with significant periods above 90% of heart rate max. Football is more a lot of intense actions such as acceleration, deceleration, sudden change of direction, shots on goals, tackles, and so on, which all places a high demand on the entire body. Okay, please change slide. I only see the presentation in a very little corner now. Okay. In some of the first studies conducted in this field, we observed that 12 weeks of football training organized as small-sided games led to improved aerobic fitness, lowered fat percentage, increased muscle mass, and leg bone mass. And compared to continuous running or jogging, interval running, or strength training, we see that when looking across these four figures, that football has a broad effects and has similar effect as observed after endurance training, high intensity interval training, and musculoskeletal training combined. Okay, please change. So when looking turn the focus into the children, we see this study by Nielsen and colleagues on 518 third graders aged 9 to 10 years old, which showed that children playing football or club football had 22% higher total daily physical activity and 27% higher vigorous PA than other club sports. Moreover, during school time, football players were also more active with 36% higher PA in total and 43% higher vigorous PA than children participating in other club sports. And obviously, this is even higher than children not participating in any club sports. Okay, please change. In another cross-sectional study, we observed that lower fat mass, better bone mineral profile, and lower resting heart rate, and thus larger heart rate reserve in children with club participation in ball games than children participating in other or no sports. Okay, please change. In the same study, we also saw the higher exercise capacity in intermittent running test and higher performance in 20-meter sprint test and coordination test for children participating in ball games than others or no sports participation. So next slide. So how do we make football available for all, and how do we succeed in that? Next slide. One way is definitely to adapt the settings to the children. We have seen, for example, that fewer players on smaller pitches leads to higher involvement and thereby higher enjoyment. When under 13 boys played 8 versus 8 instead of 11 versus 11, we saw a higher number of ball actions, and similar for under 10-year-old boys playing 5 versus 5 instead of 8 versus 8. And this may be obvious that fewer players sharing the ball, you have more ball contacts. But it's, as the figure to the left shows, we especially saw this high improvement for those with the lowest involvement on the larger pitches. And this was observed both in players in the highest ranked and the lowest ranked tournaments. To the right, we also see a more homogeneous success rate among players when downsizing the game format. So those with the low success rate on the last pitches have higher success rate when they play in the smaller formats. Okay, please change. Oh, please change again. Yes, sorry. In the school setting, we have also investigated various game formats and how girls and boys playing separate or mixed affects the output of the game. And main effects showed that girls had lower heart rate when playing mixed compared to when playing alone, and in general lower than the boys. We also saw from this that larger-sided games elicits lower heart rate and time spent with heart rate above 80% heart rate max than small-sided games. So we should consider which is better, is that to play mixed or with the same gender. Okay, please change. We also looked into the rating of perceived assertion and into the experience fun, and saw that lower RPE was observed during large-sided games compared to small-sided games. And the girls also reported markedly higher RPE during 2 versus 2 when playing mixed compared to when they played separate. In general, boys reported lower fun when playing mixed with the girls than when playing separate, and lower fun compared to the girls in general. And moreover, when the boys played mixed, they liked smaller-sided games more than larger-sided. Okay, next slide. So one way to succeed is definitely by adapting concepts and game formats to the children. Next slide. And we have used some of these studies to develop and adapt the training program in 11 for Health and Fit First 10 and 20, Fit First 20, which is some of the concepts we have developed for children. Because being involved in games and drills and experience fun are essential for long adherence to being physically active. Next slide. So in Denmark, the Football Association had recently presented a new children's strategy focusing on equal opportunities for development. And they more write in their strategy that they will focus on developing alternative game formats to promote play and creativity. And I'm absolutely convinced that if we should succeed in giving more children the opportunity to be a part of the football community, we need to improve the training quality and adapt the game formats to the children's needs. And we will only succeed in that by educating football coaches and PE teachers. Okay, please, James. Because we believe that football can be played everywhere. And next slide. And by everyone, as long as we adapt the pitches, the number of players, the equipment, pitch size, and so on to the specific group. And that was all that I have to present you in these 10 minutes. Thank you very much for your attention.